domestic violence is definitely not a culture or community-specific issue. It's really just about interpersonal relationships and just how we treat each other.
The part that's hardest for people to grasp is domestic violence just between two people? Or is it an environment? Is it a society? Is it cultural? But it's very complicated to prevent it in an Asian American community, mostly because many Asian Americans don't believe that domestic violence exists in the community.
One of the issues surrounding domestic violence that hinders our work is the silence that surrounds it. So even trying to speak out about the issue was a challenge. It was an obstacle that we had to address and recognize and get the community be aware of as well.
And if they know someone is suffered the domestic violence, they may ask them to stay in the home or forgive the abuser or just try to hide it and cover it or something. I think public education is very important, the first step to change the attitude.
I too, as an individual, had to overcome my own misconceptions of domestic violence, recognizing that whether or not you have direct or indirect experience with domestic violence, it's still a community issue and you still have a stake in it, was something hard for me to swallow in the beginning.
Asian American Federation was the catalyst for putting together this project. They called us all together. They had us work it out, but they were partners with us the entire time. They pulled together the local funders and then were the liaison with Robert Wood Johnson until we got on our feet, and then we took it over. So without the Federation, we absolutely would not have had this project.
Project Speak Out really enabled each agency to tap into what I call the gatekeepers of each community, the proactive people who actually care about what's going on in their neighborhoods. And we identified those gatekeepers and we trained them to become more proactive in identifying abuse and responding to violence. So the project was really powerful because what we did is we enabled community members to be responsive to the need in their own communities.
It was the first time the four of us have ever really done anything in a collaborative partnership. And it was the first time anything like this has ever been done in the New York Asian American community for domestic violence as well.
Even just these informal group meetings of the volunteers, so much good stuff comes out where people, you can see them shifting their understandings of violence and abuse and how they feel really empowered to make a difference.
In the past 2 years, during this period, we trained over 470 people.
In order to have changes that are more macro and really to be able to influence policy and to have laws changed, a project like Project Speak Out is really in need. Having a preventative program really shows that we're in the fight from beginning to end, and that just direct services alone would not ever be enough.